While other legislators are being criticized for avoiding constituents, freshman state representative Carl Bonack hosted office hours to a packed house this afternoon in Munising. Way more people showed up than expected, and while many had criticism for Bonack, most involved said they felt like it was a productive session. My UP Skylar Perkins has the story.
First of all, I'd like to say I'm really glad he even came, because there are others that don't show up to their town meeting.
On Friday, about 150 community members shocked library staff in Munising High School and were told to get out and go to the cafeteria. That's where they found a slightly off-balance Carl Bonack. Once a legendary meteorologist up here, one thing he didn't seem to see in the forecast was a big jump in civic engagement.
I think it went well, and I was pleasantly surprised at the attendance. It just shows that people care about their communities.
When we arrived, the crowd was well into the improvised Q&A session, but it did not take us long to learn that most of the people who showed up weren't there to give Carl a pat on the back.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
But this is really going to hurt folks. And it's going to hurt Republican voters as well.
They cut the land rate control program. Totally. They're going to make a comeback.
Most had concerns about UP issues that have been thrust into further tumult by the Trump administration and the dismantling of federal programs. And one overarching conclusion that was reached was that when federal institutions are torn down,
eventually, a federal issue will become a state issue.
Many topics were discussed, from school funding, sea lamprey control, logging regulations, and pensions for UP corrections officers.
It was brought up that it was a Republican administration that got rid of the pensions. I believe it was a mistake, and I think it needs to be corrected.
One speaker criticized Bonack's tendency so far to vote with his party, and several pushed him to remember his campaign slogan when he's back in Lansing.
I think it's really hard when you're a freshman. There's a lot of political pressure put on you. There's a lot of play by other people in the party. And he has to stand firm on where he is for issues for us. And not be swayed by other Republicans or anything else.
After the meeting, Bonack told us he was up to the task.
For me, it's Peninsula Over Party, and I want to make sure that we get what we need up here to survive and thrive and make it so that families can live up here and prosper. I was elected for the 109th to represent us, and I'll do that, and I'll make sure that I do that, come hell or high water.
And in the meantime, it seems his constituents will be closely watching which way he votes.
He said he'd be back in 3 months, so I guess, we could come back and can ask him, what'd you find out on my question?
In Munising, I'm Skylar Perkins for My UP News.